Guys, look, I get it. I see the appeal. I'm probably gonna do porn in the near future, but you gotta not watch me. Big announcement, I'm gonna be uploading 2 vlogs a week now. The only thing is, it's not gonna be 2 vlogs. So every Friday I'm gonna be posting a vlog. On the other days of the week, I'm gonna be posting a informational video. So Fridays are vlogs, and then a random day of the other days of the week are gonna be informational. But yeah guys, welcome back to my channel. I assume you guys read the title before clicking. This video is called 10 Things I Wish I Knew in High School. These are not 10 regrets I have. I don't think you should live your life with regrets, but these are just 10 things I wish I knew more of. This isn't even necessarily pertain to being in high school. These are just things I've learned while in high school specifically, but you know, these pertain to everyday life. All right, let's get into it. Number 1. Overthinking dating in high school. You know, going through life, you're gonna wanna meet new people. You're gonna wanna see what could potentially spark from, you know, hey, how are you? Nice to meet you. Or swipe right, swipe left. Well, not left, but swipe right. Oh, we got a match. Let's see what happens. Hey, can I get your snap? You know, just, throughout life, you're gonna meet people and you're gonna wanna date. You're gonna wanna mingle. In high school, I was somewhat of a playboy. I was very into sparking new connections with girls and, you know, seeing what would happen next, sharing contact information, taking things to the next level, seeing what happened. And at a lot of points, I found it being my number 1 priority. Who's the next girl I could talk to, or where could this potentially lead, or where could me and this girl's relationship potentially blossom and lead, similar to a flower. My advice though is to not get too caught up in that stuff. Don't overthink all the dating and the aspects of relationships when you're young, because believe it or not, it can cause a lot of stress. It'd be so much as to where, like, I would get to the point where I'd be snapping a girl, you know, I'd get a girl's Snapchat somehow, and you know, we'd be snapping and it would be going well, and I would get caught up in the fantasy of what could potentially be. Oh my God, she sent me a video. She's sending her whole face. I love her so much. Sometimes you can get ahead of yourself when you're talking to somebody new and you think to yourself, is this the one? Is this what love feels like? And so I remember back in the day, I would be snapping a girl and it'd be going well and I'd start to fall in love. I'd tell my friend, next thing you know, the check goes from red to clear. It's strange. She's probably in the shower. It's probably dinner with family. Red. For a day, and I'd be sad and my whole day would be ruined. Everything I told my friends was for nothing. I would essentially go through breakups very often. It's not the healthiest cycle. I feel like when you're meant to meet somebody and when you're meant to mingle with somebody throughout those younger years, you're gonna cross paths, and whatever happens, happens. I think you should just go with the flow. That's just my advice. You know, that's not financial advice at all. I'm still single, so what do I know, right? Number 2, I wish I didn't care so much about popularity and my social status back in the day. And guys, listen, this is coming from a popularity phenom, you know, a titan of communication and connection with humans, a mogul of handshakes and likes on Instagram and sex. I really believe you shouldn't get caught up in all that stuff, because it can get toxic for 1, and for 2, you can start to lose the desire to focus on the things you actually probably care about, like your interests and things you want to try and do. And you're caring about the perception that other people have of you, which is not great all the time. You want to be a stand-up human being. I know, I get it. But also there's just, I think, incorporating a balance and trying to really think about, am I doing this for myself, for the people around me, or myself? And the answer for a lot of the time should be yourself. Number 3, and this one actually is not financial advice. Save your money. I say this because I had a job in high school. I worked at a pizza place and I made a lot of money from it, right? But you wouldn't know it based on my bank account, because I spent all of that money on clothes and on Chick-fil-A. Buy what you want to buy, but I would spend like pretty much all of it. And you know, down the road, it was like, shit, where'd all that money go? So that's just a quick one. If you want to do that, that one's up to you, you know, but that's just from my personal experience. Save that shrimp. Number 4, don't be afraid to change your appearance, try new styles, try new hairstyles, try new interests, and just try things. Do you guys know what fear stands for? False evidence appearing real. Let that sink in for a minute. We get really caught up in not trying to look lame and look stupid amongst people. And that's just life, you know, that's just a part of life that we need to get over, but I put this on the list because for like hair specifically, like my hair in high school was bad. Looking back on it, my hair was bad. And I used to get these ideas of trying to like twist it up, you know, just do different things with it. But I was just afraid that like, everybody already knows me for having this hair, for having a certain hairstyle. So if I come to school tomorrow with different hairstyle, I'll die. Everything that you overthink, I just wish in high school I knew. None of that mattered. And it can do you a lot more of a favor to step outside the box on stuff like that. Number 5, porn. Guys, look, I get it. I see the appeal. I'm probably gonna do porn in the near future, but you gotta not watch me. I really do think it changes the neurons, or I don't know the science behind it, but it changes the framework of your brain, and it makes you look at situations different, makes you look at people different, it makes you look at going to the doctor's office differently, it makes you look at your stepmother differently. It really does affect you, and this is just something I feel like I wish I had the wherewithal to not do as much of in high school, because it did change my brain, you know, how I looked at things. So I get it. And you know, in case you guys need a representation of porn and what it does to the human brain, here you go.
You listen to me? That little witch is messing with your mind. You're stronger than her. You're smarter than her. You're Bruce Banner.
Number 6, I wish I didn't get into so many arguments with my parents/authorities. When I was in high school and before I lived alone, there are 2 people I argued with the most. My mom, and number 2, Mr. Nellums. Mr. Nellums worked at my high school as a disciplinarian man. He was the big guy with keys on his belt who walked around and told people what to do, what not to do, and just caused havoc. Mr. Nellums had a big problem with my fashion sense. When I was in high school, I oftentimes wore the same black jeans with the same chain on the jeans and Air Force Ones and then whatever shirt. Now the issue was they were getting a little bit small for me. Like I'm 6'4", I'm a pretty tall guy. I was getting tall over the course of high school and the jeans weren't growing with me. In order for them to get the cool look that I wanted, they would have to sag a little bit. On top of them sagging a little bit, I wore a chain on my pants for fashion. Sagging jeans and a pants chain were apparently Mr. Nellums' #1 pet peeve in life, and especially on me. So this guy would just scour the hallways. I would just be minding my own business, walking to class, and this guy would you could just hear him. You can hear him stomp all the way from 6th period to 8th. There's no 8th. 6th period to 2nd period. You could just hear him walking around, stomping. Hey, 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 hey. This guy sucked. But whenever he'd cross my path, he would you could just see in his eyes. You know how Superman, his eyes turn red? Every time he'd see my pants, his eyes would turn red. He'd walk straight to me and say, "Young man, I'm not gonna tell you again." Like other fashion gurus around school wore chains on their pants too. And he never said shit to them. It was only me. So we'd get into a lot of arguments. There was just a lot of unnecessary arguments that I could have saved time for. And for my mom, you know, I wish I just sat back a little bit and just listened. You know, sometimes you gotta get your point across, but you know, looking back on it, we got into a lot of arguments and they could have been avoided. Number 7, quickly, I wish I knew to be a little more accepting and have a little more empathy for people, because everybody's going through their own shit. And what I tell you guys before, you catch more flies with honey than with bees. Fuck. Number 8, I don't know if this is applicable to anyone except me, but bring food to eat, like eat food. Like in high school, I didn't bring any food ever. My mom didn't pack me lunch and I hated the school food, so I just would go to school without eating. And I would hunt and scrounge for the nearest orange. It'd make me very cranky around school. Very hangry, just an aggressive monster. So real quick, I mean, I wish I just brought more food with me to school and I wish I just ate, you know what I mean? Number 9, I wish I took my interests more seriously, you know? I've always been interested in something involving being in front of a camera. I don't know what my mindset was at the time. I like this stuff, but I just never really dove into it like a shark. So whatever you guys are interested in, just really start to flirt with the idea of getting into it more, because you never know where it can take you. Like I've always wanted to do this YouTube stuff in the back of my mind, but I didn't start until a couple months ago. I could have started when I was in high school, and before you know it, right now I could have been Mr. Beast. Probably not. Mr. Black. Number 10, I wish I knew that everything was going to work itself out you know? I spent my time stressed out about every little thing, the next test, what this person thought of me, what that person thought of me, if this girl likes me, just a lot of different thoughts, you know? And I think just remembering that you have a life plan. I believe things are just going to happen and they're gonna work out the way they're supposed to. You gotta remember that. Like I remember I was stressed about this test, a really big test, and because I hadn't studied for it, and you know, I was very stressed, like I was losing my mind. But you know, it got down to the class, I took the test, and I got a 40. That's gonna wrap up the 10 things that I wish I knew during high school. We're gonna start taking this YouTube stuff very seriously, so be prepared. Make sure to subscribe, make sure to tell a friend about the channel, and make sure you know that I love you. Thank you guys for watching if you made it this far. I love you and have a great week.